Hello. It is Friday morning, 3 a.m. September 20th, 2024. It's been a little while since I've done anything like this. Oh, okay, good. There's a little alarm in the background. Anyway, I've been thinking about doing a video for this thing. Not for just this thing, but for a lot of things in my life. And I'm probably going to talk ad nauseum about all those wonderful things. But the short version is value. A friend of mine gave this to me. This is specifically his company, Curdy Gear. Let's go ahead and just turn that a little bit more. There we go, Curdy Gear. And it is just basically a box with not latches, but I've kind of put it through hell since March when I got it. Fasteners. Latch is a totally different thing. I guess he's becoming more and more an expert on latches and fasteners and all sorts of ways to buckle things together. But yeah, the reason this is a thoughts about value is because I've used this thing just about every single day since maybe a week or two after he gave it to me. So I told him I would air my thoughts on this, and I'm going to air my thoughts here, and I'm also going to air my thoughts with him. He told me how to think about it, what's going on. And I'll add things like value. For example, value. I think about a little over a year ago, there was some roof leaks I was dealing with, and I couldn't afford a new roof. Not that I can now, but that's a separate story, or that's later in this story. And I got these folks that sprayed stuff on the roof to seal it up and to what they called rejuvenate the tiles. It would be like 10 years back, your tiles, not your tiles, yeah, you can tell. I mean, I woke up just a little bit ago. This is my night off. But I guess I've been shingles. There we go. So shingles. All right. Let's focus on this. All right. So value, shingles. It would revitalize the shingles, add years of life onto your shingles. I shouldn't need to repair the roof for maybe at least a year, but probably more like 3 to 5 years. Short story, that didn't happen. I had to replace my roof about 2-3 months ago. So that value, I think it was about $3,000 I spent on something that didn't work. And they wanted me to give a valuation, give some sort of testimonial on whatever websites. And I'm like, I'll only be able to give that evaluation if it lasts if I have, many years without roof leaks. And it didn't even last a year. So, yeah. If you're doing that, revaluating or euthaning your roof tile for whatever reason, not roof tile, I keep saying tiles, but it's really shingles. If you're revitalizing your roof shingles because you have a couple leaks, and I only had 2 major ones, but I've had them over the years too. But anyway, short story is you can get predatory loans, and that's what I got for mine. I got a 17.6 when I needed it, no money down loan. I will be paying for my roof if I pay just the minimum on the loan the next 10 years. Thank goodness I talked to the folks that with the loan, and I could pay it off early. So that is my worst thing I owe that have to pay back, and it's 17.6. So, and you gotta love those friends that are like, yeah, you could borrow some money from me, you never have to pay it back, and it's just like a loan, but it's a gift. And now I'm starting to realize I always thought I would give those gifts back, but maybe not. So who knows? Good news is everybody's still alive and kicking and all that kind of stuff. And you know what? I probably can. If my life keeps going the way it's going, and I get a yearly raise at work and stay for another 5 years, I can start chipping away at all that other stuff too. by then the roof will be taken care of, a lot of the house stuff will be taken care of, and hopefully, but that's without any major hiccups along the way. So back to value. Something you can use every single day that makes your life better. And the cool thing about this making my life better is I try to eat at work, and I always keep my fork right there, right on top of there. Now the cool thing with this, I got a couple other things in here. I don't want to go, mooching around my bag and all that kind of stuff, but I got like a money clip and fork, and plastic bag to keep everything from bouncing around into each other. I love the idea of like putting something like a plastic bag on something, because ultimately if you run out of room, you can use the plastic bag for something else, but it'll squish down, but also it'll keep everything from jangling around too much each other. The only jingling is you're hearing from what's inside the bag. Fits pretty nice right here. So is this value to me? Yes. I was a bit sticker shocked. I'm a bit sticker shocked about every single thing that has a price on it anyway these days. I mean, the value of, let's say those, like that Gatorade powder, that cherry Blizzard, the white one. Man, that stuff's great. I think I remember having it for $2 a box. Now it's creeping up to $4 a box. And I've only been drinking it for about 3 or 4 years. I'm just like, wow. But it wasn't always available at every store and all that. And some stores, Publix, it's like $5 a box already. So yeah, but value. These are the things I value: powdered drink mix, and this thing I'm using right here. If I need to put my wallet in the place where I can grab it, that's not my pocket, and this is next to me, I throw it in here, and it's done good so far. The latch, I only got one out of the 2 latches set up for my backpack, but it's only fallen off once, and that was under heavy movement and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's back to sticker shock. This thing, I think he said it was about, because he had so many middlemen to put it together and all that kind of stuff, like it cost, because everybody wants a piece, so it builds up. Every single middleman you have adds a bit to it. So to make money, I can't remember what he said he had, but it's kind of expensive. It's probably somewhere between 50 and 80 bucks. I think he has like his deal on his website where you can get ammo pouches that are the same setup as this, and this box, like 2 different types of ammo pouches, I think, and this box altogether for about 80 or 90 bucks, which is the most value he can give. Back to the word value. But yeah, this is, pretty good how it works out. I like the fact that I use it just about every day. Always putting extra stuff in and out, and it's like it's an extra pocket without needing an extra pocket, I guess. But yeah, had I needed to buy it, realize that I would use this every single day, and just the ease of use for, I'm hungry, get that fork. Just cooked up some stuff. Yeah, I know, I'm very lucky in a lot of ways. I actually eat at work. Hopefully nobody ever actually watches these, but watch my boss watch this. I thought we were supposed to not eat at work. Wait, what? Didn't you remember? Oh no, that kind of thing. But yeah, actually, kind of funny thing, sometimes the only time I eat is when I'm at work. Sometimes I'll eat at work, and then I'll eat at home as soon as I get home, and then I'm asleep. And lately I've just been doing stuff like that: get home, go to sleep, wake back up, go back to work. That's been my life lately. And you know what? I don't mind it nearly as much as I should. Not complaining at all. Knocking out that roof. Anyway, paying for all the stuff that didn't work too. Well, that's already bought and paid for, but still. Wish I would have invested that money instead. Anyhow. Yeah, and my crypto's down too. Not that I do a lot of crypto stuff, but maybe I should say I'm glad I didn't invest that money. It'd probably be, it's not worthless, but it's definitely in the negatives. I liked the idea of Ethereum. I don't understand why Ethereum's, well, obviously I bought it at the wrong time. Should have bought it years and years and years ago. One of my major regrets in life is hearing about Bitcoin in 2009, 2010, maybe as early as 2009. I'm not sure about that, but hearing about it a long time ago and thinking about it, and then like realizing it went from like 2 cents to like $20, and I'm like, oh, $20 is too expensive, and just decided not to get into it. Darn. But yeah, value. Right there. That's value right there. The Curdy gear, I don't know if he calls this like a satchel box. In essence, it's a box. And the cool thing about it is I've kind of bent the side a little bit using it too much, but these fasteners, man, you can, anything you can open and use with one hand. Like, I love the one hand, valuation, especially if you're moving quick, you got something in your other hand, maybe you're filming in your other hand, who knows, and you can just get that and get going. Big fan of that. Huge fan of things you can use with one hand. And yeah, that probably leads to all sorts of jokes. No, I'm not going to even bother thinking about any of the jokes. I am going to think about value in all sorts of ways. Like, one of the ways I value just my life is just realizing if this is the worst it's going to get, which I know it's not. It's never that. But let's just say, there's things on the uptake. There's not uptake, but there's things that are looking up. And if I can just go through this period of maybe a decade or whatever and just get to the other side of this, then it'll be all better. It won't all be better. There'll be various bad things along the way, but that's what keeps me going. That certain things in a decade from now or within the decade are going to change, and my life will be foreseeably better because of those changes. Certain things will get paid off. Certain technologies might make life easier for all of us. But you say that, and it makes life easier for some, hopefully most. Life easier for at least half of us. Maybe I'll go that way. If at least half the people are better off with good virtual reality or something, I don't know. That's value. I always had this idea about wearing a suit that was suspended in air, and it would basically be an exoskeleton from your skeleton with pistons and all sorts of stuff and have various resistance, and this thing that's not here but the pistons in it would be there'd be hydraulics and all this kind of stuff, and it'd feel like this thing or like a rubber ball would give in to a certain point and just get harder and harder to mash, and then but do that with every aspect of movement. And then if you push on a wall that's like a concrete wall in the game or whatever it is, and then you have AI that watches thousands of videos of all the tennis matches that have ever been recorded, and then you can play against a tennis player that is perfectly suited to your level. And every nuance of your development in tennis, if you have a really good forehand and then it decides to okay, let's really work on your backhand, strengthen your strengths, but strengthen your weaknesses, and sometimes turn your weaknesses into your strengths, and it figures out just the best ways you can accelerate to become this all-around great tennis player. I think that kind of training with an understanding of the human mind and cut out the downtime. I love the idea of those things that, the professionals have. Let's say professionals basketball players. They might have a friend, just because that dude's a professional dude or dudette, just because that person is a professional basketball player. They might have a couple friends that they can pay and say, all you have to do is just make sure I have a ball when I look at you. And they can stand at one spot in the court, their weakest spot, and just throw shot after shot after shot after shot. Not have to go up and get after the ball, just constantly catch, throw, catch, throw, catch, throw, catch, throw. And do it, maybe a couple thousand times an hour or something ridiculous, and just get, super training at that point. Well, let's just take all the downtime let's just take that in half. Let's cut that in half. The throw and catching. a ball just materializes in your hand and you're throwing from that exact same spot. And not only that, let's say you have a whole bunch of spots and you want to do it in a weird sequence, and it's a randomized sequence. It just, teleports you in virtual reality to different spots on the board, and you're taking those shots without having to have the downtime of walking to them. Same thing can be said with golf or even tennis to a certain degree. There's not a lot of downtime in that, but there is some. And just getting rid of all that downtime. And I even think the next level would be somehow speeding up the game. And because I enjoy speed reading a little bit, having things, I love the idea of that whole like speeding up an audiobook. As long as you can understand it. The good news is when you can barely get it, if you're reading a book you don't like, turn it to the max to where you can barely understand it just to get to the end of the book. And if you get 80% comprehension, great. You basically read the book. I think that's kind of my level for like, oh yeah, I read it to 80% comprehension. And I consider that read. I consider audiobooks reading. I can get what I think is, close to 100% comprehension. I don't know if I could ever get 100% even if I read slow. Definitely if I read normally without trying any speed reading method, I don't think I can get to 100%, but that's neither here nor there. What is value. Keep going back to the word value. If you use something every day, sure, let's pretend this was from, well, it'd be falling apart by now. This thing's been through the ringer, but man, hundreds of times opened and closed and pushed around. And this thing should be so malformed. It shouldn't even line up here anymore. But nope, it lines up, and I can do the same thing with the other side. I can kind of push it out to where I can just get a finger in there. But I don't need to. I can just grab the front and open up like that. And one hand. And the latches kind of find each other. I don't have to play around with it. Value every single day. That's something. One hand, no look. If I can like one hand, no look, get that fork, get my the plastic bag out there, get whatever I need in here out of here. Man, that is so cool. And it's just, right now it's just lame stuff like some keys and extra set of keys and like I said, that money clip and plastic bags and my trusty rusty fork. So yeah, value. Even that fork, is valuable because, I don't know if you ever had a good meal and you never had a fork around. That's not nearly as fun. And I've had that happen before. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I'm waxing poetic about, I don't know if it's really poetry. It's definitely not poetry, so I'm not waxing poetic about anything. I'm randomly talking about appreciation and value, and I appreciate this so much. So thank you, the company of Curdy Gear, and my buddy, good old Curdy, for doing that. And I so hope he makes good money in his thing, and if he figures out a way to cut out all the middlemen, I don't know, that he'd have to get into like 3D printing and maybe soft manufacturing or something. And but he's just putting it out there to see, even at an expensive price, this thing has value. At least it does to me. And I think a lot of people in my similar situation just want to hook something onto their backpack, have that extra thing that is not a zipper, because I started transferring stuff that was from, I used to be in the zipper part, and the zipper part over here into this. Plus this is easier to clean and find in the bottom of the backpack, even in the zipper spot. So it's like it's so many times easier when I need it. It's fast, no look. I don't know if you ever tried to do the zipper one-handed. I even have a trick with my backpack to open it up and close it up. I have the double zipper here with all sorts of things attached to it. But you see I did it with one hand. I zipped it closed because I got a length of just various twine and stuff just all tied together, so I can kind of open it up but I can also close it up and keep it down. And if I want things to be tight, there's a way to kind of tighten that up so it doesn't randomly open up. But really, just keeping it on the side. I've had it up here and without the ties and all that kind of stuff, and it just randomly opens up a little bit, and the next thing you know, everything opens up and the thing folds open. That's a good thing about this backpack. The zipper goes all the way to the bottom, so it's easy to really quickly empty and clean out. But that's also the bad thing too, because if you don't have some sort of wire or rope or twine or something keeping that zipper from going too wide on each other, the thing can open all the way up and both zippers can end up on the opposite side, and while you're walking, just your whole bag and everything falls out. So noted. But it's an old good bag. It's been back to value. I've been using this thing for years, and it's never been my first choice, but it's always been the bag that survived. So many times I've had bags that just ended up tearing in the shoulders. There's no shoulder tears here. How is there no shoulder tears? I've been using this for at least the last 5 years, and no shoulder tears. That's usually where it happens. No tears here. I lift it by this constantly. It's just like, what? You know, did they sew it with fishing line or something? I don't know. It's magical in a lot of ways. I've had things hanging off that back strap thing beyond the weight of this, and it's just fine. The zippers are all still moving, relatively new, and a lot of good stuff about value. So I figured it's been a long time since I've done a video, and some people like the sound of my voice and some people hate it, and hopefully the haters are gone and those that like it are here and just thinking about value. Maybe you're going to sleep thinking about value. And I don't know how long I'm going to make this thing, but hopefully it'll be worth your while just to hear a voice in the darkness, assuming you have your screen turned off or your phone turned over or whatever it is, because all we're doing is looking at this silly thing, and there's not much. There's not really much to look at this video. It's just a box. It's just a box. Here's the cool thing. Let's go into the latches real quick. That is magnetic and it's awesome. Wow, it's gotten me 20 minutes to talk about the thing that's absolutely amazing in here. It's these guys right here and right here. So good, so amazing. These magnets that go together and are put together in these rivets, and it's just, and it's also like, if you want to make it quiet, that's open. Oh yeah, if I want to make it real quiet, close. Let's see if I can close it super quiet. Open. I guess that would take some skill. Maybe if I did it like this. No, that's still noise. Right at the end there. I just spooked the bunny. All right, so not that there's a bunny in here, but it's wabbit season. Anyway, no, there's what was that thing I heard that guy did a long time ago? It's wabbit season. I like to hunt them down and nail them to the trees by their ears. He did a perfect Elmer Fudd saying the most horrific, just, you know, bunny torturing things, and it was hilarious. All right. So, anyway. Nail them to the trees by their ears. Oh. Yeah, I would never, ever promote or condone some action like that, and that's why it's comedy. Yeah, value. I'm going to stop this soon. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep saying the word value and what it means to me and all that kind of stuff. And simple things, like little things of value is this thing, not so much value. It takes a little while to... Oh, it was almost unscrewed. Let's see if there's anything in there. Is it one hand, no look? Yeah, I got a little bit of stuff on there. Oh, it almost fell out of its thing. Gotta put it back in its thing. Yeah, that is not one hand easy operation. It is some hand sanitizer I put on the back of my backpack, and I didn't get much out of there. And that version didn't even really smell that good. I'm pretty sure hand sanitizer doesn't go bad. All right. So, Yeah, thanks to Curdy Gear, my good pal Curdy, for setting me something up that'll hopefully last years. And there is a button thing on the back. I'll show you the other side real quick. There is a button right there. And that's probably not set up for one-hand operation, unless the box is really sturdy. Oh, that's sturdy enough for me to push that button in. And I could thread something through that, like a belt or whatever, or like I did on this side, that bit right there. And I only need the one for it to be able to hold on to this thing for until I need to take it off, basically. But it works out amazingly well. Just kind of put my hand on it and grab what I need, put it back, we're good. I love that. So simple. Value, value, value. Figure out ways to make my life easier and easier. Teleportation, there we go. And I like the idea of that virtual reality thing, because let's say that there's a robot, and let's say you can build these robots almost like they have that shadow car, and that shadow car can basically is a stand-in for a normal car, and they put CGI of the computer graphics of the car that they're advertising, but really it's just the shadow car, because the shadow car can extend its wheelbase and shorten or lengthen, and basically, just occupies the space that whatever space that would be, that whatever car is being advertised. They do it with the shadow car. I can't remember what company does it. I'm pretty sure it's some sort of advertising company, and it's just like, yeah, these Toyotas, these Fords, all that kind of stuff. What you see in the commercial is not the actual car; it's a CGI overlay on top of the shadow car, who's actually the thing running on the road. Well, I'm thinking about shadow car, shadow robot. So the robot would extend its arms to be the length of your arms, the length of your legs, all of your various proportions and measurements, maybe even weight if needed, and all that. And you could telepresence. Let's say you're working on a roof and there's 12 of those robots there, and you just want to work from home, you don't want to be out in the sun. Use one of those robots to get that roofing done, and that roofing might be 200 miles away, but there's a good internet connection, and you can use your telepresence robot and get all that done. Only problem with that is that every single movement of that robot can be digitized and can be understood, and then AI can look at every single movement, can look at what you were looking at as the robot, and all the finesse that you used with your muscles, if that carried over into the robot, and all those years of experience you developed as a roofer, and it can make that into patterns of thousands of roofers and thousands of hours of roofing, and put it all together and maybe be just a little bit more nuanced than the most nuanced roofer that is a human being in existence, because that human being has been doing it for 50 years, but that robot has thousands of years of experience. But that's AI, and you know what? That's the thing with it. Everybody talks about it taking everybody's jobs. Well, let's just run it down to zero. Let's say it does take over everybody's job. AI can do anything we can do, just better. Well, what happens? Just everything becomes free. Well, that becomes the nuance right there, because where is the scarcity? The scarcity is in the actual stuff, the energy to produce, all that kind of stuff. But I think even the wealthy, I don't like the idea of having a target on my back. And if I was a billionaire, I'd feel like if there was a whole bunch of people out of work scrounging, I would have a target on my back just for being wealthy. So I would do whatever I damn well could to make it no target on my back. And the best thing I could do is lots and lots of charity to everybody that does it. So guess what? Everything's free. Your food's free. Your housing's free. Everything's free, because everything can be done with AI. Need a solution for all the homeless out there? Type it into AI. See what happens. Might come up with a good solution. Might even give a couple plans for trying to make it happen, and good designs on houses that can accommodate a lot more people, and ways to do indoor farming that are just revolutionary, and all sorts of stuff, and using materials we haven't even thought of. And it gets it done, and gets it done well, and then we can do whatever the hell we want. If I want to play video games for 8 years straight and then go to the youth lab and get back to my 25-year-old self, we can do that. Yeah, anti-aging. I think that's going to be an easy problem for a certain level of AI to crack. Like I said, back to telepresence. You know, imagine an AI just reading every single sci-fi novel and every single going through every single sci-fi movie, and then based upon all those things, sees a movie and turns it into a 3D rendering where you can basically be the camera inside there. And then next level is you can be one of the main characters, and everything is rendered, and all the rooms, and the fourth wall is gone because there is actual wall in the fourth wall. You know, it's all created and rendered and made and confabulated. I think that's what they call it when the human mind makes up stuff that, for continuity purposes, confabulation. Or maybe not. I don't know the word for that, but I think it's almost like that book, Stranger in a Strange Land, that one person that was educated to only say exact facts. What color is the house? Well, on the side that I see, the house is blue. I don't know about the side I don't see, but we confabulate. We assume, we figure out that it's probably blue on all four sides, even the sides you don't see. And with enough confabulations, yeah, there's errors, absolutely. But, you know, that's the whole point of heuristics. But when you're talking about a being that does not need heuristics, that's a beautiful thing. That is something of value. That's why I'm optimistic about the future. All the shortcuts that we have, a lot of the shortcuts we have lead to bad things, lead to mistakes. I mean, it also leads to not, you know, some sort of antithesis of analysis paralysis, but it really leads to, you know, you get it right 99 times out of 100, but that 100th time leads to something bad. It might lead to, you know, some sort of racist belief, or you have 99 beliefs that are right and one belief that is really, really wrong. All those heuristics can lead to all sorts of stuff just by saving a little bit of brain power. But when you talk about all the heuristics human beings use, oh my goodness, we probably would never be able to tie our shoes if we didn't use heuristics. But they do lead to some danger, and I imagine AIs that have that, you know, artificial general intelligence, and to have, oh, by the way, I don't know why this started happening, but within the last 2-3 years, I've been hearing the word compute, not computing. We have compute. Why not just say it the way it is, computing power? It's almost like gifting. What happened to giving? When did gifting become giving? Or when did giving become gifting? Sure, gifting sounds different, but giving is shorter. Anyway, that's I know compute is shorter, so instead of computational power or whatever it is, or level of compute, you know, I guess it could be said with one word: the level of computing power. 2 syllables worth against 3 or 4. I don't know. I like computing power, not compute. And the first time I heard compute, I was like, people trust this dude with their money? He's just making up words. This is the most powerful car in existence. It has the best level of drive. What? People trust you with their money? All right. Anyway, so I'm done. Maybe I'll upload this. Maybe I won't. But if I do, anybody who's gotten to this point, hopefully maybe you could share in your world something that is valuable to you, directly towards a thank you for the people who gave it to you, or whatever's responsible, or to yourself for getting it for yourself. This I did not get for me. This was unexpected, and highly regarded. So yeah, and I'm not the easiest person to find something good for. I usually don't like getting gifts from people and all that kind of stuff, but it's just like, yeah, here's more crap. I catch myself living up to my certain standards. Like, if you don't trust somebody, don't give them cash. You give them a gift card, because I hate getting gift cards. Well, I don't hate it. I'd rather get a gift card than nothing, but cash, man, so much easier to deal with. I can't tell you, I have this one gift card that something's wrong with it, and I cannot spend it anywhere. And it's like, I go to different stores and like, will this be the store that takes the gift card? Nope. It's like a Visa gift card, and like, there's something wrong with it. I'm just like, maybe it was one of those things that happened a couple months ago where people somehow used it but put it back in the store, and who knows? I don't know. Anyway, value. Later it shall be.